They thought it was only folklore, old tales whispered in the countryside about the Domovoi, the house spirit. Some said he was a guardian, watching over the hearth, protecting families from misfortune. But others warned, when forgotten, when insulted, when denied his due, he changes. From protector to tormentor, from guardian to executioner. This story is not a fairy tale. It is not a bedtime legend. It is the last chapter of a family that dared to laugh at tradition. The Petrov family moved into the old house in September. It stood at the edge of a village long forgotten by the city. Wooden beams blackened with age, a sagging roofline, the tiled stove rising in the center like a relic from another century. The locals watched silently as the Petrovs unloaded their car. Whispers carried in the wind. "Don't stay there. Don't disturb him." The landlord gave them the keys quickly, too quickly, and said the words almost under his breath. "The house has rules. Bread and milk on the stove. Every night. Don't forget." The family laughed. The father, a school teacher from the city, told his children, "Superstitions, ghost stories, nothing more." But the first night was wrong. The house was too quiet. No owls, no insects, just silence pressing down like a weight. Around midnight, the father heard small footsteps in the attic. Not rats, too heavy, too deliberate. He banged on the ceiling with a broom handle, muttering about mice, but the sound didn't stop. The steps circled above his bed, slow, steady, until dawn. On the second night, the children woke screaming. They claimed an old man had bent over them in the dark, stroking their hair with long, cracked fingernails. His beard was tangled, his eyes red and glowing like embers. The parents searched every corner. Nothing. Just shadows. By the third night, the mother walked into the kitchen at dawn and froze. All the chairs had been stacked into a tower, balanced perfectly to the ceiling. On the flour-dusted floor, bare footprints looped in circles. In the center, traced by those same prints, was a single word: stay. The family decided to leave that morning. Bags were packed, car loaded, but the front door wouldn't open. The key turned uselessly in the lock. Windows, every one, were nailed shut from the outside. The father hammered at them until his palms bled, but the wood bent back like iron. That night, the noises grew bolder, not just footsteps, but knocking from inside the walls, whispers beneath the floorboards, a heavy, rasping breath from the stove, as if something alive hid inside the chimney. The father forced open the attic hatch, climbed with a flashlight. In the dust, he found small footprints circling endlessly. At the far wall crouched a figure, short, hunched, covered in filthy hair. Its eyes glowed like embers, its mouth spread wide, teeth broken, lips cracked. The light flickered, the figure hissed, and the father fell, crashing through the ladder, snapping his leg. His wife dragged him to safety, but above them, the scratching never stopped. By the fifth night, the children stopped speaking in their own voices. They sat silently at the kitchen table, staring at the stove. When her mother begged them to eat, they whispered in unison, "He feeds in the fire. He wants us inside." When she tried to shake them, their heads turned slowly, their eyes glassy and distant. She backed away in terror. That night, she tied them to their beds in desperation. But at dawn, she found the ropes undone, lying neatly coiled on the floor. The children were gone. Their laughter echoed faintly in the attic above. Neighbors passed by and heard screams. They saw shadows flickering in the windows, though the curtains were drawn, but none dared to enter. One old woman whispered, "That house eats its families. It has for 100 years." When asked, villagers recalled at least 3 other families that had vanished in the same home. Each time the explanation was simple. They moved away, but their belongings always remained. Clothes in drawers, food half-eaten on plates. Silence fell, too complete. No footsteps, no whispers, just stillness, thick and suffocating. The mother believed for a moment that it was over. She crept to the stove, searching for signs of her children. She opened the iron door. Inside, the ashes stirred. 2 small charred dolls lay in the coals. She screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the walls themselves. From the chimney came laughter, dry, rasping laughter. The father, delirious from pain, crawled across the floor, begging forgiveness. He left bread and milk at the stove. He whispered apologies. The offerings curdled instantly, milk turning black, bread crumbling into ash. The house rejected them. When the screams finally stopped, neighbors contacted the police. A week later, the authorities broke down the door. They found the house empty, plates still on the table, food rotting, the father's crutch leaning against the wall, but no people, no blood, no bodies. In the stove, among the ashes, were fragments of bone, small, fragile, charred. In the attic, the walls were carved with hundreds of words, gouged deep with claws. Mine, mine, mine. The police sealed the house, but some officers resigned soon after. One claimed he saw a shadow dart across the rafters as they searched. Another swore he heard laughter echoing in his radio headset. The house still stands. The roof sags, the windows gape empty, the beams rot slowly, but no one dares enter after sunset. Children throw stones at it from the road, daring each other to touch the door. None succeed. Travelers say if you walk past at night, you'll hear it, scratching in the walls, footsteps above, a whisper, deep and rough, calling your name. The villagers know the truth. The Domovoi is real, but he is no protector. He is a jailer, a feeder. He craves respect, demands offerings, and when a family laughs, when they ignore him, he punishes them in the only way he knows, by making them part of the house. So here is the warning. If you move into an old wooden home and hear footsteps in the attic, don't ignore them. Don't mock the stories. Leave offerings at the stove, bread, milk, a whispered prayer. Because if you don't, the house spirit will decide you are his. He will lock the doors, seal the windows, and he will whisper from the walls until you lose yourself. And when your neighbors finally break down the door, they will find only ashes in the stove, and the walls carved with a single word: mine.